Oh, Jesus Christ. Welcome back, students, to another episode of Dorkology101. I'm your host and Dean of Dorks, Tony Smith. Today we break down Microsoft purchase of Activision. Yeah, I know. A lot of people have talked about it, and we're going to talk about it too. I'm joined today by good friends Mark, Brandon, and Paul. As always, thanks again for joining, guys.
No problem, boss.
Anytime, my friend.
Happy to be here.
And today we're joined once again by a good friend of mine, Nigel Plaza. How's it going, man?
Hey, guys. Good to be here again.
Before we get started, though, I'd like to give a huge shout out to two content creators who are really throwing this channel a lot of love. One of them is a football, I wouldn't say expert, but I mean, like, I would like to consider him an expert. And fantasy sports. He'll give you any advice you generally need on that. Check out his channel, The Catch. He streams regularly, a few times a day even. And another one on the other end of the spectrum is a play of RPG games and Pokemon. Streams every day as well. I want to give a shout out to HazezB. I will link both of theirs below. Thanks again, guys. As always, please like and subscribe. It really helps the channel out, and it's easy and fast. All right, so let's kick this thing off. I'd like to start by saying how just batshit crazy it is that we live in a world where Microsoft has the kind of money to drop on, like, perspective, almost $70 billion absorbing a company is. I didn't realize gaming had such deep pockets. Like, I knew it was deep, but I don't know, seeing that kind of blew my socks off.
It's Microsoft.
Yeah, I know, but it's just, I never knew gaming was that, like, I knew it was lucrative, but I don't know, I see it, I'm like,
it's lucrative. They got the best programmers too now because everyone wants to go where the money is, and it's in gaming, basically.
And you also got to think, Microsoft started out as a software company.
Yeah.
And, that's where the bulk of their money probably comes from. Like, hey, Daddy, can I get a check? Gotcha.
Windows.
Yeah, the deal was $68.7 billion, which amounts to $95 per share, all cash.
Or 86 million in Canadian Monopoly money. For a Canadian view.
Damn it, Monopoly money.
Our money, she is so beautiful.
It is beautiful and almost indestructible.
Man, I honestly, I have a prediction at this point. I think that, so last year, Microsoft bought ZeniMax, which before this, what happened now was crazy in itself. It was like, holy shit, but they only got done for like $7 billion, which makes that laughable considering what's happened now. So I consider, based on last year, they purchased ZeniMax. And this year...
ZeniMax is the one with the Elder Scrolls, right?
Yeah, but
Bethesda cross.
Okay.
And this year was Activision. I predict that next year they buy Tencent Studios, and then Disney buys them. It buys Microsoft.
Oh God, no! We're not doing the Simpsons
right
here.
All right.
I am Master Chief. Are you ready to go, Donald Duck?
So
It'll be in Kingdom Hearts 3.
Exactly what we need. Halo with the freaking Kingdom Heart.
The absoluteness.
No, we do not need that. Stop that blasphemy.
I need a new shield, Donald. Fuck you! You didn't heal me.
It gets crazy. So Disney buys Microsoft. Sony will have no choice but to bend the knee. Then after Disney absorbs Sony, they will buy, just for the hell of it, they'll buy Warner Media. And then they will have the four Horsemen of the Apocalypse. They'll now own Marvel, DC, Microsoft, and Sony. And at that point, I think they just conquer the planet. Like, we're out there begging calls all day long.
Because Nintendo will never bow to anybody.
Yeah, Nintendo doesn't give a fuck.
They'll be like, please.
Nintendo don't care. They don't go with the AAA license like Bethesda does or Activision games or anything. They have their own games.
Yeah.
And unless Sega decide to go like a long-awaited return and kill every fanboy of Nintendo, I don't see Nintendo dying because something like this.
No, Nintendo's going to be fine.
Yeah.
Well, for Nintendo, I mean, based on a story I read apparently years ago, they went to Nintendo trying to buy their software and were literally, I'm not being hyperbolic here, literally were laughed out of the room. Like, I was reading an article and he was like, imagine like an hour of executives just laughing at you until you leave.
You see, I read somewhere an article I'd say a few years ago, that right now in the current economy that we're living in, Nintendo has enough money to survive without like firing any employees or whatever for 250 years without even making one sale.
Well,
They all do.
Yeah, so they don't give a.
They have the most liquid of assets, and they
like
have
Nintendo fanboy doesn't care about these. So
I mean, they've been hoeing Mario and Pokemon out for how long?
Yeah. And what's the most lucrative branch of gaming? Pokemon.
They know their consumer base.
Yeah.
It's called, we ain't gonna get y'all. We're gonna get y'all when y'all kids, and we're gonna get your kids when they kids. And then we're gonna get they kids. Yeah.
Well, I have to say, I mean, as far as lucrative goes, I think Call of Duty is the most lucrative. Seeing as they win Game Awards like every goddamn year for some reason.
No, I don't mean like game wise only. Like Pokemon is one of the most lucrative licenses there is.
Yeah, fair enough.
For that, the Game Awards are fixed. We all know that.
I'm just saying, like, financially, what they pull in is it is ridiculous, and even more so considering that the games in their own right just keep getting worse and worse. So it's
either make a good Call of Duty game or sexual harass the other employees. So
yeah,
you have to find a good place to go.
I legitimately believe the reason they got, and I know to say this with air quotes, the reason Microsoft got them for so cheap is because of those allegations.
If you remember a few months prior where the allegation came out and everything, Microsoft was already on the talk to buy it, and then that happened, and they were like, we're going to take it into consideration and wait. So they took it in consideration. They were like, well, I'm buying it, so now I'm the management.
I didn't know they were already looking into it. I had no idea.
Yeah.
Hey, God, actually the most lucrative game of all time is Minecraft.
Yes.
I can see that.
Like,
and Minecraft is owned by who?
Microsoft.
Yep. Yep.
We all agree Microsoft has tried to be Disney, but for games.
Yep.
But they are Microsoft for
I saw a meme earlier where Microsoft Xbox Twitter said like, next week we're bringing Xbox Game Pass to Sony PlayStation. Sony was like, "What? Hey, shut up, you peasant!"
You get on your knees and you accept what I give you.
Pretty much. I mean, at this point,
after seeing Microsoft's success, Sony was like, "Hey guys, we need to do that, but how? Make it more expensive with tiers."
You know, it's crazy because last year they tried to essentially, I don't know who made the acquisition first. Was it Microsoft with ZeniMax or the companies I will mention now for Sony? Because Sony purchased like 4 or 5 studios last year. The ones I remember are Blue Point Studio, I think, Housemarque. Yeah, Valkyrie Entertainment, the one I probably know the most about. They co-developed God of War and Valorant, and I think Halo. I think they did with Halo Infinite as well.
Not sure.
Not sure about Halo Infinite. But.
Yeah. I have to look it up, but I think they co-developed on all 3 of those. I know for sure God of War and Valorant. I'm 100% on that. I love the fact that they got these like, yeah, all right, we're stepping our game up, and then here comes Microsoft again.
Well, they went full Riddle healer treatment there.
Nah, they just said, I got big dick money. I got big dick money.
Microsoft went up there and said to Sony, this rod or this rod?
Why?
Well, the writing's on the wall. I mean, they have so many allegations against them. They had to. Otherwise, the company is going to be finished.
I don't know if it would be finished.
But it would just be crappy for a while.
I mean, it could go either way. Finished, I don't know about finished.
No, there's still enough game studios that Sony can get games from.
No, they'd have to sell off the game studios, I think, if Activision was. Because they would have so many lawsuits against them that I think they would be bled out.
Yeah, like THQ did.
TH who?
THQ.
Oh, yeah.
I forget why they closed.
Oh, they just went
Why
bankrupt.
they got bought. What?
They went bankrupt.
Oh, did they?
They had to sell stuff off to pay the employees.
Oh, that's a problem.
But yeah, I mean, like I said, with all these allegations against Blizzard, Activision, and whatnot, or Activision Blizzard, they probably could have got. I mean, like before that, they probably would have had to pay like 90, maybe 100 billion for them. But now, I mean, to say they got a deal, I mean, it's still $30 billion less. So, in the
Still a big studio, so it's
money.
technically a deal. And from what I heard, the CEO of Activision that got the blame for all the allegation and such is still in place right now.
Yes.
Still the CEO. And I guess from what I read on news and everything, he will probably step down as soon as the merging is done in 2023.
Yeah, they already have somebody.
And by step down, I mean it's either you retire or you get kicked out.
Yeah, but they're still going to hand him a bag of cash.
Oh, obviously.
He's getting a golden parachute all day long. I mean, it's gonna be massive too.
Well, right after the deal was announced, I was seeing articles from two sites saying that Kotick was going to step down after the deal was finalized and the transition was finished. But as of 2 days ago, he's going around telling people that he's going to stay on as long as Microsoft wants him. And I figure Microsoft, like at first that ticked me off, considering
he should get the
reports that he knew what was going on.
I agree.
But then I figure Microsoft probably had meetings with their legal department and were like, well, he hasn't been found guilty of anything, so you really can't fire him. And
just keep him now.
Plus, he's got his contract that if he does step down, as was mentioned, he's going to get a nice golden parachute. So it's
definitely.
You will be fine, even though he's a dirtbag.
Yeah, no, he's an absolute dirtbag. But interestingly enough, he's not. I didn't research the guy's name, but even if he stays on, he's not going to be running anything. He's going to be there in name only. They already have somebody lined up to run that division and whatnot. So he's
most likely the contract costs more to break than to let him go afterwards.
Yeah.
So he's going to be there until they figure out what they're going to do. Right now, they're too busy with this acquisition, and they're just kind of going to get those things sorted out. And then once things calm down, he's probably either getting the boot or they're just going to run out the clock with him and call it a day. They probably won't even ask him to come to work. Just stay home, bro. We don't need you here. But regardless, he's going to get one hell of a payout at the end of this. And it sucks because he's such a scumbag, and he's not being punished in any fashion for it. Like that's.
It just proved the saying "Get good guys finish last." I guess.
Yeah, it's gross.
Yeah. Sick world.
I have a question. What is going to happen to games on multi-platform? Because from what I read with Sony, they're saying that even with this merger, Microsoft still has to honor those deals.
They have been cryptic as hell about that.
That's why I
can't see Microsoft being like, nope, Sony, fuck off.
Well,
You're not getting any. Yeah, they could. Why would they? Why would they? Imagine the money they will lose while people playing PlayStation won't be able to get the Call of Duty, blah, 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 next edition, whatever it's called.
They'll have to buy an Xbox.
Or buy a PC.
Yeah.
Either way, they win.
Yeah.
And one thing that bothers me is
if they want to play COD.
Phil Spencer, the guy in charge of Microsoft Gaming, said, and I quote, he promised to, quote, honor all existing agreements. Now, yes, exactly. That's what worries me about
they expire.
Existing agreements. And that they value their relationship with Sony.
Yeah, they're 100% going to cut off Sony eventually, whenever they can. They're going to
extort them. Totally.
To be fair, I'm an Xbox person, so I'm a little biased to people.
All right, I'm a PlayStation. I can challenge.
I've had to deal with the nana boo boo. You can't play this for generations. That just sat there going, okay.
I think here's the deal. As far as some of I feel like things like Overwatch. I feel like Overwatch is going to eventually become an exclusive. That I wouldn't be surprised by that. I hate the idea, but I wouldn't be surprised.
I think that's stupid if they do. I think it's really stupid, because especially if they want Overwatch to be a major esport.
Yeah.
I think right now Overwatch is kind of in their rearview mirror right now. They're not even thinking about that shit right now because there's so many other bigger titles that to
Overwatch is, I don't want to say dead, but they're not doing anything. It's basically the new Diablo, where it's only season after season with nothing new improving or
I
not.
could have done a better comparison.
Pretty
It is
much.
basically Diablo right now. They'll get around
At
to
least we hear about Diablo now.
it. Yeah.
And
That's
every now
Overwatch
and
2
then.
will become Overwatch forever.
Overwatch
wouldn't surprise me.
Infinity.
Oh God, don't do that.
There's no question that the whole Overwatch 2 thing is probably going to be dead now. They'll probably, if they're going to do anything with Overwatch, because Activision's big on like adding sequels to everything to get all that big money in when, you know, a new game drops. It's the only
Overwatch
reason
a battle royale.
because I know
That'd actually
that
be
this
hot.
Bungie,
I know, right? They'll release Overwatch instead of Overwatch 2. Overwatch, the battle royale.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Well, actually, they do have a battle royale mode, sort of. So I'm not
For
gonna.
a few days.
Yeah,
I'd probably play it though.
but I guess my biggest issue with all of this stuff is I'm a little afraid of is now that they own Activision, ZeniMax, chances are maybe in 2 or 3 years they'll probably take on 2 other big companies. Like I said,
Enix or such, Capcom.
I totally see them coming after Tencent.
No, I see them going after EA.
Yeah.
It's going to be an easy ass acquisition for them. That's going to be easy. I do not see them having a problem with that.
They get EA, they get BioWare also. So.
Yeah, then I could be like this. Are you going to fix my fucking Mass Effect franchise?
Oh,
my
EA is
Dragon
definitely
Quest?
next.
Mass
I would
Effect,
not shed a
Andromeda
tear.
Infinity.
I was saying EA is definitely next. Their
Yeah.
valuation is $40 billion, and
Oh, wow.
Tencent
Oh, yeah.
is $500 billion. So I don't think they're going to go after them. anytime soon.
God damn.
Microsoft, I'm seeing is $2 trillion, and Sony is about $150 billion. So
If they go
Microsoft
after
is massive.
if they go after Bungie, they're probably getting for like 10 million, something like that.
I don't know if they're going to go after Bungie.
Would they go back to Bungie? Weren't they owning it back in the day?
No. Well, Microsoft would own them now. So,
Yeah.
well, I mean, again, okay. Well, hold on. So that's another question. Actually, is will they just be like? Is Microsoft really going to have a hand in a lot of this shit, or are they going to be like, all right, now we own you guys. Go do what you do. We'll keep it over an eye on what you guys do, but for the most part, you
We'll
guys
take the money and
huh?
they'll take the money and leave them be as long as everything goes well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Phil Spencer is really cool about that.
Yeah, but I guess my big fear is that they're going to acquire EA and probably I could see maybe Epic, but I don't
Do
know.
a competition with Steam, you mean, maybe?
Steam was the one I was thinking about too. I was curious.
No, they won't take Steam. I don't think
You
so.
think
I think
so?
Steam.
I wouldn't be shocked.
No,
by that at all.
I think Steam is worth too much.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Especially
I
with
mean,
the
I
Steam
think in
Deck.
principle,
Yeah.
Steam would not. I mean,
You think so?
what's the company?
I mean, honestly, they did. I think I was talking. What was I talking about? Was it Nigel? I think I was talking about I forget who it was. We're talking about the gamble that Steam made. You know, actually, it was Nigel. Actually, yeah, you mentioned it in the last podcast we did together. That it's crazy that they put it out there like, hey, this is what we're gonna do, and people were like, you're fucking crazy. No one's gonna care. And look at Steam today. It's wild.
Yeah.
So out, like you said, maybe out of principle, they may not just because.
Steam is estimated right now at 1.5 billion.
And Valve is never going to sell.
Yeah,
Never gonna
exactly.
No.
Not to Microsoft, not to a major company.
Praise Lord Gaben.
He just needs to keep his hand out of my wallet.
Exactly.
And the cookie jar.
Fair point there. But like I said, my big fear is that they'll absorb all of these companies. They're getting too big, and it's kind of scary to me because when you get that big and you absorb that many companies in a field like this, originality and creativeness and whatnot starts to die because they don't have to be. There's no competition anymore. And I mean, look at Disney. This is a perfect example. They have Marvel's Star Wars, and that's pretty much all they make now. And anything else they make is pretty much remakes of their classics that are kind of meh.
Yeah.
They don't really do anything else that's truly amazing or creative or anything. And Disney used to be known for being one of the most creative companies out there. Now they just don't give a shit, like, at all. Like, they know whatever they put out there is going to generally make them money, big money.
They sit on the mountain of cash. So
exactly, they have no reason to try to be anything than what they are right now. And unfortunately, being the guy that I am, I'm going to continue to get on my knees for the mouse. See, like, and I know that.
Privacy rights advocates have been really concerned about the consolidation of power in the industry.
And that's the weird thing. For instance, Microsoft was brought up on this about them being a monopoly years ago, and nothing came of it whatsoever. So I don't think they should be giving a shit, but they're not doing anything about it. Disney, I'm sure, should have been. I'm sure they looked into Disney, but again, it's too much money that these guys can throw and be like, "Hey, leave us alone. We're gonna keep doing what we're doing," and they're just gonna look the other way, like, no one gives a shit anymore. So,
honestly, I think Washington D.C. still probably looks at the industry as, it's just video games, and I think that's why a lot of this, passes.
I agree.
Because right now they're really taking the monopoly.
Which is why the only reason YouTube got hit with that huge ass lawsuit is because YouTube went out there running their damn mouths. If they would have just kept doing what they were doing, we wouldn't be dealing with the shit we are now with, I don't know about anybody else content creator wise, but like now you got to make sure that everything is either, if you're going to put on,
there's no copyright on it, you mean?
Yeah, you can't make a certain amount of money if you put it on for, kid friendly. There's a whole bunch of rules now, and it's ridiculous. All because YouTube is not willing to police their own shit. They're like, you know what? We're going to put these little doodads on it and call it a day. If you guys screw yourself, that's your problem, not ours. I hate YouTube for that shit, but I'm going to always keep using them.
And also because YouTube keeps censoring like anti-vaxxers and anti-maskers, conservative commentators about the misinformation and stuff. And so that's why they actually showed up on their radar.
But yeah, they had to drop hella money for that. But yeah, I think much like the video games, internet is another aspect that the government's like, we don't really know what to do about that. So, until something too big to ignore comes up, for now, because I know every year we're going to get censored on the internet. Comes up every year. They even got me once, like 2 or 3 years ago, where I'm like signing petitions and whatever, and then I realized they do this every year and nothing has happened at all.
Yeah, and you get Comcast and Verizon lobbying super hard to keep the internet from being regulated as a utility.
Yeah.
Which we all know it should be. It may fix a lot of some of the problems in the world now.
Yep.
But yeah, that's my biggest fear. So let me ask you guys this. What games are you most excited or afraid for that now are in the hands of Microsoft? Like, what do you think is going to happen to the game that you love most from them? Do you think it's going to be made better? Do you think it's going to be made worse? Do you think they're not going to do anything with it? What do you think? I'm actually curious about this.
Honestly, the only game I'm really scared, because I don't play Activision game at all. The only game is probably Diablo 4, because I'm waiting patiently for that shit. I'm scared. Well, I'm not even scared at this point. I think I'm hopeful that because Microsoft has a lot of money, so they can put more good developer, good director on it. So I'm looking forward to see what they're gonna do.
I agree. I've been looking for. Well, Paul's the one that brought me into Diablo on Diablo 3, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. There's nothing I didn't love about it.
Because honestly, right now we see what's happening with Diablo 3, and it's absolutely nothing. We changed this and this, and we brought out a new season. That's it. That's all that's happening. We got the expansion 6 or 7 years ago. So I can see Microsoft putting money in there because that license has a lot of fan behind it. So.
But yeah, no, I think it's gonna be better for Diablo because I didn't know where they were going. They put out like a trailer for it
2 years ago, I think, and complete radio silence afterwards. So
yeah, I was so pumped. It looks so good, and then
it is.
and then nothing. So I really look forward to that.
The only thing I really play from Activision anymore is like Crash Bandicoot or Overwatch or Spiral.
Oh, I haven't realized Crash used to be.
Because I realized after this acquisition, there was a lot of games that they have.
My God,
Like,
I never
we can
realized.
have Tony Hawk Pro Skater back.
Tony Hawk.
Yeah.
Dude, I mean, now they'll have like Master Chief, they'll have Spyro, they have Crash, and I believe they have Banjo Kazooie also now with
Facts.
Activision.
I wouldn't be surprised by that. Because they're
Like,
the same
hell.
people that made Crash Bandicoot, right?
Yeah, Activision made Crash Bandicoot. They also made Spyro.
And they were all, except Banjo, they were all like PlayStation exclusive back in the days. So, holy fuck.
What about you, Paul? What game are you nervous or excited about?
Honestly, I'm not all too worried about the games themselves beyond the studio still flubbing games like Overwatch 2, Call of Duty having trouble, finding their mark again. I think Microsoft's going to do a really good job with those franchises. My concern is solely on accessibility. Like when we were talking about in our other episode about the console wars, the PC and console wars, consoles are really the most accessible for average people. And if you end up in a situation where some of the most popular franchises out there are made Xbox exclusives, and it shuts out Sony, that's going to shut out a lot of people.
Damn sure is.
And that's really what I'm worried about. I'm hoping they don't go that route. But, for example, to mention the Bethesda acquisition, how they were talking about, we're still going to produce games on both systems. And meanwhile, there's a game that they're releasing as an exclusive for Xbox. I think it was, what is it? Starfield, which is a sci-fi RPG, is only going to be PC, Xbox exclusive.
It's Skyrim in space.
Yeah, it looks great.
It does look great.
Yeah.
But that kind of thing worries me. I mean, I don't play on Xbox or PlayStation anymore, having moved to PC. I played both when I was able to get the systems. Yeah. So it really doesn't matter to me. I care more about, whether people are going to be accessible, going to be able to access the franchises.
Yeah. Plaza, what about you?
For me, I just wanted to say, like, I'm really happy that these franchises are not going to die in scandal. Like, Microsoft's going to keep moving them forward.
Yeah.
I wanted to put out there that Microsoft is also like a huge proponent of the metaverse, right? That's just, upcoming AR, VR world and everything. Mm-hmm. And I was thinking, so I'm a massive fan of Warcraft and StarCraft from Blizzard. So we can imagine having, a metaverse that is just like Warcraft only.
You took exactly what I was going to say.
Or like StarCraft only. It's exciting and scary, like what you said in the beginning. But I'm excited to see them take these worlds and sort of, bring them together.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what they do with World of Warcraft. I wonder if it's going to be brought to console in any way. I'm curious. I don't know if that's the case or not, but it'd be kind of interesting to see if they make that move.
I think they will. It's going to come to Game Pass, hopefully.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Oh my God, yes. But I'm pumped for it. I'm pumped for it all. Like I said, I'm optimistic about every direction this is going to go. It's great for every company as long as they do what I think they're going to do with it. As long as they're not just buying them just to say, "Hey, we own these things now." And everybody can just keep doing what they're doing, then, I do worry about that. But if they're really going to take an active hand in things going forward, then I'm pumped for it. I couldn't be happier about it. As long as they slow down on buying any more things.
I don't know about that.
But at least for someone like Brendan that plays basically Xbox and PC, you're good to go, man. It's a great news for you.
Yeah, I'm also happy for one thing. Maybe I can get Call of Duty where the actual whatchamacallits are good again. The campaign. I didn't give a shit about multiplayer. Fuck that shit.
They won't need a separate launcher anymore. Maybe it'll just all be the Microsoft launcher now.
That would be. Oh yeah, that would be great. Damn,
and personally, for me as the PlayStation and PC player, it doesn't really scare me, to be honest, because my PS4 and my Switch are only there for games that I don't like to play on PC. So like Final Fantasy's game or Persona, stuff like that, it's not my fun to play on PC. Prefer playing deals on console. And as you can see, there's no Activision title in there, so I could not care less.
So my final question to you guys is this before we wrap things up. what do you think Sony's next move is going to be? They got to do something.
They're going to try to please Microsoft. They're going to beg. No, I don't know. No, they're probably going to try to buy probably some studio for themselves also. Don't know which one. At least they got the license for Crunchyroll now. Which at least they have that going for them, I guess. But they need to buy other studio, or at least have a deal with Microsoft to keep those games coming on the system. Because right now their stock market took a freaking hit.
Yeah. Well, I guess my thought would be like, what could they buy? Like financially, who could they come after? Like, I mean,
I'm not sure about the price, but I could see them going for Square Enix.
Okay, that's.
I mean, they've been working with them for a long time. Square has been struggling, not financially or anything, but struggling with game release and such.
No, they've been struggling with their games. Period.
Yeah, the only game that really goes well for Square, to be honest, is Final Fantasy XIV.
Does anyone else find that a problem?
MMORPG that has a free trial up to Evansward to level 1 to level 60.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Any final thoughts?
That's become a meme.
You guys got any final thoughts?
Yeah, I think Sony needs to figure out a world without Call of Duty.
I mean, yeah,
that would be.
I was thinking of drinking my water.
Wow.
They could go with Battlefield instead.
But let's not leave that dumpster fire where it is.
Yes,
they'll get Battlefield, and next month Microsoft will buy EA, so they'll lose Battlefield.
They'll get Titanfall.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh God, I want Titanfall 3 so bad.
Paul, you brought me to Titanfall as well. The first one, I didn't play Titanfall 2, although I do own it. Actually, I just never played it.
We gotta play. Oh,
I got it too.
That's right. They're dealing with DDoS attacks right
Never
now.
played these.
Yeah,
Let me know. I'll
doing
download it once,
for
we'll
a
play it
while.
once, and then we'll never play it again.
They're ex-Call of Duty developers. Respawn Entertainment.
Yeah, Titanfall was so much better. I'm sorry they made Apex.
Trying to think
Oh,
good.
I see. No, they're not going to get bought.
Yeah, they made Apex. It's a thing that happened.
All right, fellas. I think that's enough for today. I want to thank you guys for coming out again. These are just a blast to do. Just chatting it up with you guys. How about you guys take the time? Actually, before I say that, I want to thank all the listeners for the support. It's been great, and it's been growing, and I've noticed. How about you guys tell them where you can be found online?
You can find me on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, Twitch at LeonardX44. That would be Brendan.
Oh, shit. My apologies. You can find me on Twitch, Twitter, TikTok, Xpad, almost everything in American Black Up except for Twitter. It's the Black Up.
Oh, and Over. I forgot Over for me.
Hover?
Yeah.
Just so you guys know, I've asked them several times to just keep a list.
You can find me on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, all the major sites at either Elemwiz, ELEMWIZ, or Elemwiz Gaming.
Plaza, you want to plug your channel?
Yeah, you guys can find me in this video description. No. Well, the next podcast. Well, hopefully I'll have something out.
Yeah, sounds good, man. I know you've been working hard to come up with something to build on, and you can definitely always come here and promote it because we all tiny guys got to stick together. And you can find me, as always, Supersize Senpai on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube. I'm also creating a Discord channel where I will let people promote their content and whatnot to really help us all grow. So stay tuned for that. I hope you all come back next week for another riveting episode of Dorkology 101. And with that, class dismissed.